Welcome in one and all. I'm your pink demon, aka Regan, and this is another fresh shave. First impressions, a review of a new release. New is a relative term when you're almost 2 months behind on your reviews, but that's alright. I've got all the notes here, I just need time to sit down and record. But I also don't have to tackle this list in any particular release order if I don't want to. So, I'm going to jump forward, skip all the remaining April ones to May, and because I want to talk about Furious George, Melbourne two-piece deathcore band. Let me double check that. That is double checked. It is indeed a Melbourne two-piece deathcore band. With a really good name, that catches the eye. And in this social media age of the music industry, catching someone's attention is 90% of the game. Like, you just gotta, if you can get something that gets someone up here, attention, yeah, focus, cool, then you've already won half the battle. But if Furious George any good, or are they just monkeying around? That's the only monkey joke I'm gonna make, alright? The only Curious George joke I'm gonna make, I promise. So, on first impression, just straight off the bat, I'm like, yep, this is definitely Australian dash core. Maybe feeling a little bit of that Australian new core sound. I feel like we're kind of the leaders on that. We've kind of always been the leaders in the metalcore scene, to a degree. There's obviously, like, your really early on bands that kicked off metalcore and they came from overseas, but then Parkway Drive came out and it's been all Australia ever since, baby. But there's this kind of new wave coming with a really clean sound, all electronic kind of elements thrown in, and there's a real certain production value that they're all hitting. Yeah, I just think of that as like the Australian new core, like new metal, new core, because a lot of them are showing a lot of new metal influence, almost a revival. But in saying that, it then creates a challenge of, are you just another Australian metalcore band? Are you another fucking Alpha Wolf clone, like 90% of them are? Or do you have something that makes you stand out? And I'm happy to say Furious George definitely has something to make them stand out. Straight up, I think they're more technically gifted than, I mean, not even the rest of the Australian scene, just more technically gifted than the average deathcore band. I saw someone recently say that most modern deathcore bands are just vehicles for the vocalists to show off their vocal styles, and I agree with that to a fact. I listen to a lot of deathcore, and it just kind of, it's going through the motions to hit the breakdown for the vocalist to do his most filthy vocal stems, and everyone's like, oh, that's very good, very brutal. And each song is just kind of repeating that formula. You're waiting for the breakdown to see what the vocalist can do, and I blame Warner Shaw for it. But despite having a very good vocalist who can do a lot of different styles, Furious George don't write their songs like that. On this EP, A Malignant Conniption, I haven't even said the name of the EP yet. By the way, great name. Conniption, good word. Malignant, good word. A Malignant Conniption. That's just a good name for any extreme metal release. So on A Malignant Conniption, Furious George just seemed to be more willing to show off the complex elements of all parts of the songs, not just the vocals. And it's to a degree where at points it's bordering on mathcore. I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's reminiscent of something like a Dillinger Escape Plan. And I think that's what really makes them stand out to me. And they have jam-packed this EP with everything that they can do. It feels like it does so much in just 13 minutes. It's 5 tracks, but in reality it's 3 songs because there's 2 interlude tracks in that. So 13 minutes, 3 songs, and I think it's just because I'm used to hearing so many deathcore bands do sweet fuck all in 50 minutes that to hear so much packed into 13 minutes, it's just really positively mind-blowing, and it makes me want to jump on it. It makes me want to just fuck off the rest of the albums I've got notes on to be like, oh man, I gotta tell people about Furious George. This is good. And it really goes back to things that I've said about deathcore bands time and time again in the past. You can really spot a deathcore band who have grown up on influences of deathcore because they all sound the exact same. They have nothing new about them. There's no like cool elements being brought into the mix. It's just deathcore breeding with deathcore. Yeah, it's a very incestuous genre. Whereas on Malignant Conniption, Furious George sounds like they're fusing death metal elements with metalcore elements, with hardcore, with mathcore, and they're coming to deathcore organically by the same way it was reached in the first place. And because they're coming to it organically like that, you're still getting what is unarguably deathcore, but it feels like their own blend. It's got a unique DNA to it. So yeah, I put on Furious George. I'm like, you know what? This sounds like certified, organic, incest-free deathcore. That's all I've been after. Put that on a label in your Whole Foods section. So being just an EP, I don't have heaps to say about it, but I think if you've made time to check out this video, and you're curious by the name Furious George, then you've probably got 13 minutes in your day to go check out their EP. And if you like death metal or deathcore or extreme metal in genre, I think you'd be doing yourself a favor by checking it out. And I really like when a band can put out an EP like this because it's just a great crash course. It is so much easier to say, like, hey man, check out this 3-track EP that runs for 13 minutes than to try and convince someone to check out, a 50-minute album. So, if you're still watching, hey man, check out this 3-song EP that runs for 13 minutes. I think you'll like it. Other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.